Hi, Lisa. Thanks for doing my case study interview about the impact of the coach training course that you've done on your work and your school. Can you tell me a bit about you and your school that you work in?
Yep, so I'm Lisa Griffiths. I am the deputy head, the pastoral deputy head at Stafford Grammar School. So we are an independent school of around 380 pupils.
I think people would be interested to know about your interventions themselves. So how are you like delivering coaching right now with your pupils?
Yeah, so I think I've got an end goal in mind whereby it's an approach that everybody uses within the school. Um, so how I'm delivering it. So I started with children that I'd already worked with. So I felt safer doing that because I've already got that relationship with them. So I just trialed and tested and straight away found what I felt. So I spent the first half term of the autumn term experimenting with different pupils, different resources, thinking about what the outcomes for those were. And from that, I ended up finding a little program that worked for me. I mean, it was different. So it kind of, I was able to sort of categorize the children in different areas in terms of what was missing. I kind of think of the foundations of learning and development and well-being, foundations of well-being, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I'm identifying, is this an issue where it's about self-management? Is it about self-awareness? Is it about goal setting, or is it about relationships? So I can't try and figure out where the biggest issue is, and then I've got like a series of the resources that I'd work through with them. Sometimes I would start off with it depends what the goal is as well. So if it's about well-being, I might do the Sterling Wellbeing questionnaire to start off with, and then do that at the end of the sessions to see if there've been sort of improvement. Quite often it's more of a sort of qualitative results though. So for example, although behaviour management points, if it's about behaviour, you can see in that. Whether it's how many times they're needing to use an exit card and leave the room because they can't regulate themselves. And so it's that sort of thing. So keeping a really clear sight on, am I seeing progress? So I did that for the first half term. And then what I have done since September, when we have a whole staff training session, I've taken a section of that training session and had the staff use different strategies or techniques on each other.
Yeah,
So,
good.
yeah, so for example, before Christmas, we used one about, I used a goal setting activity, and they had to think of something that they were going to do over the Christmas holidays, and they asked the questions around the goal, and the feedback was phenomenal. The staff were like, "Oh, it was really good to talk about that with somebody else," and some of it was really small, like I want to make sure that I've sorted out all the Christmas shopping on time, that sort of thing. But
Yeah.
it's then, let's take those step by steps, and what's going to stand in your way of that. And yeah, and so they're on board because they've seen how they felt, but they've also seen the improvement in the pupils I've worked with. So we're now at the point where our heads of section are trying to use that approach as well. And I meet with them every half term, and we discuss how things are going and what challenges they've had. But I've had some form tutors come to me separately and say, could I ask some questions about this issue with? And so I've then met with them separately and almost given them a bit of mini training and set them
Yeah,
up to
you're
work.
like now coaching the staff to use a coaching approach.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So
That's what I
yeah,
want, that
so
ripple effect.
yeah, absolutely. And I want it to keep going.
Yeah, because the kids that then need the targeted intervention that you can do,
Yeah,
uh, it will be more beneficial to them if the ethos and culture around them facilitates that. So all the messages are the same and consistent across the
absolutely.
staff team. Wow. And with your data that you've been collecting, is that because you want to know it works, or is that because you have to demonstrate it works, or what's that about?
Yeah, so I think because, like I've sort of just hinted at, it's really tricky because every child's got a different area that they need to be working on, and the work can look very different depending on that situation.
Yeah.
I want to be able to demonstrate how amazing it is. And at the moment, I'm sort of tinkering around with how I could best demonstrate that. Because a well-being questionnaire wouldn't necessarily be appropriate for, you know, every situation. Although that is one measurable way. I do like data.
Yeah. And also the thing, it depends on how self-aware that child is
Yeah.
to be able to complete it in the first place. And they
Yeah.
might just tick the boxes thinking that's what you want. Oh, that looks like the one I should answer, not
Yeah.
the one I truly feel, because
Yeah.
they don't even know. So it's really difficult.
We're in a really small school as well. So what I can say is that, you know, colleagues will come up to me and say, oh gosh, so and so is so much happier at the moment, you know, those sorts of comments.
Yes.
And they'll come and tell me because they know I'm working with them. And so knowing that there's a visible difference in how they're engaging with others and how they're feeling about themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite difficult to sort of put a number on, isn't it? But it's priceless, really.